Hey everybody, this is Bryan here from Because Why Not, and today we're doing another episode of Bryan Cooks Food. Today we are making buffalo and hot breakfast sausage chili. It sounds good to me. I've made it before, it's perfect, it's awesome, it's got beer in it, and most of all, it's healthy. What's not to like?
So the first thing you want to do is fire roast all of your peppers. And the best way that I found to do this is to just go outside and put them on your grill. You can turn the heat really high and get the job done rather quickly and do all of the peppers at once instead of one at a time on your stove. So what I'm doing here is just finding my hot spot, which is in the back of my grill, putting them all on there and then turning them until the skin chars and turns black. So this is what you want your final product to look like. You want all of your peppers to turn black, and don't worry, they're not burnt, that's just the skin getting charred. We're going to take that off in the next clip. But essentially once this is done, after about 15 minutes, go ahead and take them off the grill and go inside for your next step. I found that some peppers take longer to char than others, so if that's the case for you, just leave them on the grill longer. We're going to take off the pepper skins now, and the best way to do that is to make them sweat. Put them in a bowl, cover them in plastic wrap, and wait about 10 to 15 minutes. Once that's done, take the plastic wrap off, and you can see all the condensation on the inside of the bowl. That means they're ready. Now, go and run them under any kind of water. Doesn't have to be hot or cold or anything. The skin should pull right off, but be very careful, because you don't want to tear the actual pepper. In the long run, it's not going to matter because you're going to chop the peppers up, but it'll just make your life easier if you're careful and just pull the skins off. Now to a big pot, and definitely not a pot this big, I definitely overdid it, add some vegetable oil and then your meats. Breakfast sausage, preferably hot, and some ground lean buffalo. Once this is done, go ahead and break up all of your meat into nice small pieces. Doesn't have to be minced though. Make it, something you could chew on. As you can see, I clearly didn't break my meat down enough and it's still in giant chunks. But I decided to add all of the spices anyway. As you can see, there's a lot. I'm not going to go over all of them because they're right there, obviously. But just go ahead and add them to taste. There's no specific amount that you need to add, just whatever you feel comfortable with. You're going to be respicing this later anyway and tasting it to make sure it's up to your preferences. But as you can see, once you're done doing that, go ahead and mix it up and break down that meat even more. I definitely had to. With your meat still cooking away, it's time to prep your peppers. Now I know what you're thinking, this looks black. Or maybe I'm just more colorblind than I thought, and you think it looks green like it should. Either way, you're going to cut this open and carefully scrape out all of the seeds. You don't really need them unless you want this to be really hot, but then again, just get rid of them. It's a texture thing. After the seeds are out, go ahead and chop up your pepper. You want them to be pretty uniform size. They don't need to be big, they don't need to be small. You want to be able to chew into them and know that they're there. So just make sure they're a good size. You be the judge though. It's your chili after all. The next step is to dice your onions. And the easiest and quickest way to do this is to start with half an onion, dice straight down vertically a bunch of times, and then slice horizontally. And be careful not to cut yourself. Now, regardless of how you cut this onion, just make sure you make the sizes about the same size as your peppers, just for consistency's sake. By this time, your meat mixture has been on the stove for about 8 to 10 minutes and is no longer pink. So go ahead and add your onions and your peppers and let those cook for about 3 minutes until they're soft, stirring every once in a while so nothing sticks. Now you're going to want to add a lot of garlic and mince it very finely. For me, this was about 13 cloves of garlic. which is more than I use in any other recipe. So when you're done mincing it, go ahead and add it to your meat mixture, and you only want this to cook for about a minute. So stir it in and watch it carefully so it doesn't burn. After this garlic cooks for about a minute, this is when you're going to want to add the rest of your spices that actually makes this taste like chili, as well as tasting it and making sure you don't need to add any other spices. I didn't need to, I just added the other spices, the cumin and the chili powder. Now it's time to add the beer. I chose a nice German lager, but you can go ahead and add anything you want. Dark, light, whatever. After painstakingly deciding what type of beer to add to your chili, go ahead and add your tomatoes. And try not to get the top in like I did. I don't know, some people like it in there, some people don't. I don't, but you know, that's just me. Go ahead and add your pinto beans after that, and mix well. After you're done mixing well, you want to crank that heat up from medium-high heat to as high as it can go to bring this chili to a boil. Once it comes to a boil, go ahead and bring that heat back down and simmer it uncovered for 45 minutes to an hour, stirring occasionally so you don't get any burnt bits on the bottom. Your chili has been simmering now for about an hour, and this is what it looks like. It's thickened up and the flavors have intensified quite a bit. Now, you want to add a bunch of cilantro, chopped. Unfortunately, I forgot to film it, but I did add a whole bunch. And here you have it, the chili after it's done. This is really amazing, I've got to say. One of the best chilies I've ever had. The combination of the different chilies and the different types of meats that we put in there and the fire roasting really added a bunch of different amazing flavors. You can also get creative with this and change up the peppers or the type of beer. So you can make your own version, and I'm sure it will still be amazing. I know chili can be a pretty contentious subject, but please give this one a try, and if you like it, comment below, and please subscribe for more videos.